Hi, so I already got started on the wall. It's going to be in the 2012 TMNT style and scale. I'm going to show you how I got this far and then we're going to paint everything. But first I want to do a quick unboxing while I explain my motivation and inspiration. It started with this one. They're bitty pops, the small mini pops, and it came with a turtle van, but I got it because I put the turtle van in my aquarium. This was like 3 weeks ago. Thought I was going to put this little guy in the aquarium, but he was so small and so cute, I thought it's cooler to have like a toy-sized toy of a toy. Then a few days ago I ordered this Deadpool one because I wanted another decoration for my fish tank, and I haven't put it in yet because I thought I might unbox him with the NECA turtle figure that I got at the same time. But instead I was thinking, well, I want a place to put these because they're cool, and I got a bunch of cool accessories that I want a place for. So I thought I'd make this wall, and then yesterday I thought, if I'm making this wall, I might as well get some more bitty pops. I could have got the turtles, but I would have had to get 3 sets of 4, and I would have ended up with at least 2 Leonardos, and the turtles aren't going to have Funko Pops of themselves on the wall. So when I was looking for some more I could get, I got this awesome Bart Simpson one with the Quickie Mart. So the Quickie Mart will go in one of the aquariums I have. So I made 2 shelves the right size to fit these Funko Pops. And then I got this Batman one that has a mystery figure. That's why I saved it for last. We got Two-Face, Batman, and the Riddler. So I guess this is what, Batman Forever? No, Batman and Robin. Which movie was this? It probably says, but it's too small for me to see right now. So those are sick. This one, let's see. Oh, Goggles Batman. Is that like a Batfleck Batman? Yeah, Goggles Batman. Doesn't really matter. This is the back piece that I made to go behind the wall. I would have just made one long piece, but I had these extra scraps, so I just threw them together. So that's where the sewer grate's gonna be. I want to paint that some gold I used yesterday when I painted the pipe, which will show you how I got that effect and how easy it was. Gonna mix some yellow with this gold. I gave it a greenish tint, but I want more of an orangish tint. Gonna add a drop of red. So this will just be the light on in the room behind the sewer grate. I think that's good. So now I'm going to show you how I made the bricks on the wall. This is E.V.A foam floor mat. It's the floor mat they attach like this together to make a bigger floor mat, but they're great for the walls because they're sturdy and you can get some great detail and they're easy to work with. I already measured 1/2 inch for every line, and I'm just using a sharp pencil, and I'm going to go like 3 or 4 times through. You could do this with a knife, but then you're going to get a sharp line, and I want a jagged, kind of like more natural, and like grout between bricks is not always perfect and it's old. So there's that. And then once I have all these lines, I go 1 inch for each brick, but they're not really bricks, they're tiles because it's a subway station. A 1/2 inch offset for each level, so I go 1 and skip 1. But anyway, that's how I get the brick design. And then you're gonna want to add some scratches and stuff and poke lots of holes. This is just to show you, but yeah, lots of holes and details. Each one there. And then if there are any that, you know, didn't go through, you can go with your knife and you can add some more like scratches and lines with the knife. You can just stab it and twist and whatever. It's just natural damage on walls that are, you know, 40, 50 years old, maybe more. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then to bring out all those lines and seal the foam up, because right now if you paint it, a lot of the paint is just going to get absorbed into the foam. It's very porous. I have a lighter. It's better with a heat gun, but it's a lot more work to get the heat gun and then use the heat gun and then wait 1/2 hour before you put it away, and you can't put it down on anything because it'll burn it because it's hot. So I'm just going over this gently and not too close, but just letting the flame touch it. You want to see the color change, but you don't want to see smoke. If you do, try not to breathe it, but that's good. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If some spots are a little less done, they'll absorb more paint, but that'll give a cool effect when you paint it, adding some natural looking details without doing anything extra. So that's how I did that, and made this pipe and painted it. It's a 3/4 inch PVC pipe. You can get it from the plumbing section of any hardware store, and the connector and the elbows. And then to paint them, I made a dark gray primer with this white primer and regular black acrylic. And then I didn't go perfect or do 2 coats when I painted it, but I just went one way around the circle and didn't do it perfect. See, it looks like it's just old, tarnished and dirty like brass rather than bright shiny gold, which is what I was going for. They tell you paint a nice perfect coat or do 2 coats and get it perfect, and then weather it and damage it, but you just skip those steps by doing only 1 rough coat of each. It looks old and natural and tarnished. This door was the lid to this, and it had hinges, but I like it better as a door than a box. And I'd already painted this, I'd already painted this to use it like a table for the action figures. Gonna paint this first, then I'm gonna add some detail to some of the accessories. So I'm gonna add some brown in here, but all these paints are old and clogged. And with the brown, I just want to go in the cracks. It doesn't have to be perfect, and just some random around. It'll look more like wood grain. Bring out these lines between the planks of the wood more, and add some extra age and detail to the door. So now that I filled in the darker details, I'm going to take the brush I used for the yellow, and it's soaked in water, and I'm going to add a bunch of water to this because I want to make a bit of a wash. And then I'm going to mix the brown in with the yellow, and I want it a little darker. And now I want to spread this all over. Oops. Now it's a little thick, so I'm just going to dip it in the water and spread it all out more instead of dipping it back in the paint. And just got to go a little around the edges, but most of it's going to be hidden inside the wall. So I'll put this aside to dry and then get the wall ready for paint. So we have these shelves, and they're just tongue depressors that I cut, and I cut slits so that they could slide in. The bottom 2 I used the fatter tongue depressor, and the top 2 the shorter. Then these shelves are also the thicker tongue depressor. I just cut a slit like 3/4 of the way through the wall, and I'm sliding them in, and I'm gonna glue them after, but I want to paint it first. This one, there are 2 bamboo skewers, and I glued, this is like the air tube if you get a can of like air that you spray your keyboard with. It came from one of those, and it's clear, and I thought it would look cool as a shelf to hang stuff on. I was gonna paint all these shelves like I did the door, but then some of the stuff will be tight, and I don't want the paint to rub off on the accessories just in case. So I'm gonna keep them like this because it looks like, I don't know, pine shelves. I think it's bamboo or balsa or something. Very soft wood. Could be pine, not sure. So now I have these hooks that are just toothpicks that I cut. And I'm wondering if I should keep them wood or I could paint them like they're part of the wall and cement. I'm gonna leave them in and paint them like they're cement. No, the wood will match better. Okay, they'll be wood. And this, that's just like a sewer manhole door or whatever cage that I 3D printed a while back. We'll add some paint to that in a bit. Okay, I'm gonna keep them wood like I had originally planned, but you can see they're just toothpicks cut in half. For the paint color, it's a dark blue and some light blue, so this is the gray that I had mixed and used when I was doing the pipes. I'm gonna add some blue to that and see if I can get the color that I want. I want the first layer of blue to be a dark blue. So now I'm gonna just kind of try and dry brush it a little. I'll just add a bunch of dots onto the bricks, and then the goal is to paint it but leave the black in the cracks so that I don't have to add a wash later to darken the cracks. Again, the way I do things, nothing has to be perfect because it makes it look more natural and more like the real world. When I'm dabbing, I'm trying to get in the middle of the brick and not in the cracks. And then I come back and spread it out as far as it'll go. And just going in the same direction each time. And I was planning on doing some bricks in a lighter blue just by mixing some white in here at the end, but the way I poorly mix the paint, it's already happening naturally. So it's another step I won't have to do, I guess. And you might notice that the thickness of the outside circle is not uniform. That's because I drew the inside circle first, and then when I tried to line up the outside circle, I couldn't see the inside circle underneath the thing that I was tracing. So do the outside circle first if you're doing something like this, is my advice. That's what I learned. And then the two circles at the top, that's just where the pipe fits in. Circles are much harder to cut out than the rectangle of the door or the square of the shelving, because just a straight line, you can go with a ruler and just quickly cut it with your X-Acto knife, or I use the big knife. And then for the small holes and for the circle, I had to use the scalpel, so it takes longer. You gotta be more careful. So the walls of, I guess, the subway station where they live, there are some sections of lighter bricks. I think I got the paint to where I want it. These weights came with this Mutant Mayhem or Mutant, the new game. So now I'm just going to dry brush a little bit of silver to bring all these pieces to life a bit. So just want to get a little bit of silver on the brush, or a lot. That's cool. I'm not going to put any on the handle. It's already silver, and it might not fit in his hand, or the paint might come off on his hand. Just a little paint, and just trying to pick up on the edges and not drop the whole thing in the paint. But if you do, just wipe it off, and that's just a more damaged section. And this is a kettlebell. It came with Krabapolt from the same game / TV show cartoon, Tales of the TMNT, but not the Tales of the TMNT that was the last season of the 2012 series. It's the new Mutant Mayhem TV show. They couldn't come up with their own name. This is Infinity Gauntlet that came with a Hulk that I turned into... Who did I turn the Hulk into? Can't remember. This is just a little boombox that I 3D printed a while back. I just want to dry brush it so the edges will be shiny and metal. This is like a transformer head tote box container thing. So just bringing out the details, picks up on the edges, and you should be able to see the face now where you couldn't before, but probably not on the camera because it's so small. But in the pictures at the end, maybe. We'll see. Lastly, this door. Gonna get a little silver all over it, and that's it. It's ready. So that's all my silver dry brushing. Now I just gotta let it dry and put it all back together, and that'll have already happened. I guess now I'll be showing pictures and talking to you as if I know what's on the pictures, so you can see all the pops fit in their shelf, and the training stuff and weapons over here. The door, you can see where I glued on the background behind it, and you can see the light in the room through the grill of the grate, sewer grate. I think it's called a grate, or it's called a door, or I don't know, the round window with bars. There it is. Now you know how to make one for yourself. I'm happy I finally have somewhere to put all this cool stuff. Some of it I just bought just for this. So thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.